Hello everyone, in this video I'll do a quick overview of the Whatever AI Assistant solution made as part of the Agents League contest. So it was a hackathon held in February this year, and this solution won in the Enterprise Agents category. And I'll show you a quick demo of how it works. So my name is Franck Cornu, I'm Microsoft 365 Solution Architect and also Microsoft MVP. So this solution is a multi-agent system demonstrating the interaction between Microsoft Foundry, Microsoft 365 Copilot, Microsoft 365 Agent SDK, and a custom MCP server for read and write operations. So it showcases a very common use case in company, like requiring specialized agent per department or topic. In that example, I took the use case of an IT agent and an HR agent. And because we have many ways to create like agents within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, companies tend to multiply the number of available agents for users. So it becomes quite complicated to know which agent to do what. So the main purpose of that solution is to demonstrate like instead of having separate agents for each purpose, users can have a single entry point as a single agent within Teams and Copilot, and all the routing logic is done behind the scenes to sub-specialized agents without users noticing. So if we take a look at the architecture there, the architecture is quite simple, I would say. So users, they access the application from Teams or Copilot channels. We handle those channels through a bot service instance, and messages are sent to a custom server. Basically, the role of that server is just to redirect messages to a workflow agent within Microsoft Foundry. And in that workflow agent, we have 4 different agents. So the first one is the router agent. That role is to classify the input message and redirect to the correct agent. So if it's an HR question, it will be forwarded to the HR agent, and the same for IT. And we also have like a fallback agent for all unrelated questions. So for HR agent and IT agent, to answer the question, they have a specific tool they can use, which is an MCP server, a custom MCP server, defining 2 different tools. So the first one is the Copilot retrieval tool, which is a read tool, that uses the Microsoft Graph API, the Copilot retrieval API, leveraging data from the Microsoft 365 semantic index. So that's for the read operation. And for the IT agent only, I created like a submit ticket tool. Basically, this tool just creates a new entry in a sharpened list just to simulate a ticket system. So all those tools, they are using the Graph API on behalf of the current user identity. And for that, we are using an MCP server, like I said, but leveraging a feature of Microsoft Foundry, which is the OAuth 2 identity pass-through, that allows to let Foundry handle the authentication and pass the token to our tools and downstream APIs. So let's take a look how it works like in practice. I'm in Teams and I define some question related to HR and IT. So let's say I ask for performance evaluation. The first time I interact with the agent, actually I will be asked to log in as is it the first time I interact with the agent. So let's try again there. So the first time I interact with the agent, I see also a disclaimer, only for the first time, like for instance to tell about data privacy or make sure to verify the content because of hallucination, something like that. Usually companies require this kind of disclaimer. So the first time I interact with the agent, I'm asked to sign in because I'm not logged there. So I just created an active card with a sign in button, and if I click there, I'm redirected to the Foundry service, asking to authenticate for the MCP server. So I will provide access. So I will say, okay, allow access. And this is a process handled by Microsoft. So you don't have the hook basically on the login process. So it means you have to continue manually the process. So let's say I'm currently logged and I click continue to get the answer from the agent. So I ask an HR question. So I should get like an HR answer. So in that specific solution, I use some dummy documents stored in SharePoint, but that could be pretty much anything. And in this specific solution, we also leverage like the streaming API on both OpenAI side and team side. So the answer is streamed to users in Copilot channel and Teams as well. And also we provide like citations directly from the output, redirecting to the original document. So this is the example for an HR question. That's exactly the same process for an IT question, but for an IT question, like I said before, we added like a submit ticket tool. So it means like if I ask, if I have a request like I have an issue with my laptop, I want to raise a ticket. This will be redirected to the IT agent and the submit ticket tools. And for that, normally I should be prompted to enter more information about my issue. And for that, we are using adaptive cards to get the information. So let's wait a couple of seconds. Here you go. So in that case, instead of gathering information directly by chatting with the agent, sometimes it's just better to display a form and enter the required information. So in that case, I would say, okay, issue with my laptop, performance, actually it is slow, and severity is like critical. So if I click submit, the information is sent back to the agent and then used to create the SharePoint list item. So we have a specific site to create tickets, and normally after some time we should see the tickets created. Ticket has been submitted, excellent. And if I go there and I refresh, normally I should see my tickets created. There you go. Issue with my laptop, tickets detail, and ticket severity. So this is for the write operation and read operation. We also implemented some cool features, like for instance, when you are debugging agents, sometimes it's complicated to go directly in Foundry and check all the logs. So I've added like a debug mode, like you can just say, okay, debug on. And for the next question or next interaction you will have with the agent, so let's see now I will use like an IT question. I should see like all the information needed for debugging purpose. So again, let's wait a bit. Excellent, so I get my answer, and now I have a debug information there with some useful information about the conversation, what was the ID, the conversation ID, the response ID, the duration, citation, and all of that, but also the timeline. So it's especially useful in that kind of agent because you can inspect like your tool call. For instance, what was the query sent to my tool and what was the output as well. So sometimes it's way better to have a debug mode like this instead of going to Foundry or other tools. And we also implemented like a reset conversation because sometimes your agent can be stuck into a loop, a conversation loop. So sometimes it's better to start over. So that's why we also have this kind of feature like reset conversation. So that's basically the feature of that agent. If you want to know more, feel free to go to the documentation site where all the solution is explained, and also I'll provide instruction to replicate that solution in your own environment. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.